Mm.
Okay, folks, let's start the meeting. Good evening, Democrats.
Good evening.
Good
Good
evening. Good
evening.
Good
evening.
Glad to be here. Good
evening.
evening.
Okay. Thank you, Phyllis.
Hello.
Phyllis got the memo on this. Everyone else, let's unmute. I know you're used to just shouting it out because we're in person, but this is Zoom. Everyone unmute.
Hello.
Good evening, Democrats.
Good
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 evening,
evening,
evening.
Democrats.
Democrats.
Okay, that was a little bit better. Okay. Hello, everybody. Thanks for being here. Again, we were just talking before we started the meeting about the news regarding Jimmy Kimmel being indefinitely suspended. It's a very difficult time right now to be an activist, to be a Democrat, to be a progressive, to be someone who is opposed to fascism, in the American government. Uh, it's a very tough time. We're doing what we can do here in this club to remain active and to remain a important response, important what we're seeing in the White House is terrifying, right? And so this is how we fight back at the starting at the ground level, and we'll work all the way up and doing these endorsements and organizing ourselves and getting ready for races from the national level down to the local level is all part of what we need to be doing right now as we respond. So uh, that being said, let's kick it off. Welcome to our annual endorsement meeting. We're going to have our endorsements for the 2026 election cycle. All of the statewide constitutional offices are up this year, a bunch of open seats, and quite a few local races as well. I think, as we were talking about, we understand the national significance of this election, but it really is just as important to focus on who's governing us in California because the federal government continues to force our hand to lead at the state level as they take away all of the stuff that we usually rely on the federal government for. Therefore, it's all the more important to make sure that as we consider these, who's going to be our governor, who's going to be our on these other races, that we have people who are going to be fighting for interests and filling in the gaps where the federal government is falling behind. So we'll roll out a few more endorsement nights over the next few months. We're going to keep having candidates continue to join us. Tonight, we're endorsing in the following races: State Controller, Secretary of State, Attorney General, State Treasurer, State Senate District 24, and Proposition 50. Some pretty uncontroversial ones and also some very hot races in there. And anyone who's planning to vote this evening, just one final confirmation. You're a member in good standing of the club. If you're waiting to renew from 2024 until now, come on. Okay. But just do it right now. Don't wait until an hour from now or half an hour from now. Just this is it. Come on. Just go register, re-register. Okay, thank you. And then the other thing is that you're RSVP'd for this meeting using the Google form. That's how you'll get your ballot in a little bit when we start voting. Um, we will skip some of the announcements and housekeeping stuff for right now. Save that for during the voting period. Oh, Mike, before we continue, yeah.
Just one other thing people
You want to
need to
be on
be
screen,
aware of.
Pete?
You're only going to
Yeah.
receive a ballot for races that will appear on your actual ballot in the real world.
Thanks. Yeah.
So if you do not live in Senate District 24, you will not receive a ballot in that race, even if you are a member in good standing with the club, even if you have signed up for this meeting. So I just wanted to clarify that. I've tried to send it, everybody who signed up in advance of this meeting, who we indicate that I sent an email to. So if they think we're in error about that, they can let us know. But for the people who are not in Senate District 24, you will not receive that ballot under club bylaws.
Okay. Thanks for clarifying that, Mike. And now let's get right into it. We'll start with the ballot measure that we're voting on this fall. That's November 4th, 2025. and the ballots are going to start arriving on our doorsteps in just a couple of weeks. And so to explain this ballot measure, let's please welcome our congressman from the Fightin' 36th, Representative Ted Lieu.
Uh, Thank you, John, for your introduction and your leadership, and thank you to everyone from Santa Monica who is participating. Proposition 50 is super important. It fights back against what Republicans are trying to do in Texas and other states to rig the election. As you know, Texas has in fact changed their maps, and they're creating 5 new lean Republican seats. California's Proposition 50 creates 5 lean Democratic seats. But in addition, we also have 5 what we call frontline districts that are tough districts, that are moderate districts for incumbents to hold. We strengthen all 5 of those. So, in effect, we're actually affecting 10 districts. So, we actually have a better response than Texas. It is not proportionate, it is disproportionate. We have a disproportionate better response. And if California could pass it, it would send a huge signal in November, and all of you could do your role in doing either phone banks or knocking on doors or making donations or doing social media posts, anything you can to raise awareness and to vote and get people to vote and to make sure that we get Proposition 50 passed. The polling has so far been pretty good. The Democratic pollsters basically have the measure ahead by around 10 points. The Republican opposition recently released a poll showing that it was ahead by 7 points, 7 or 8 points, which is sort of interesting because it showed the measure leading and Republicans still released it. But what's really matters is of the people that uh, believe and support Prop 50, they have to do that one thing, which is they actually have to vote. And that's why your help could be so very important in doing the voter contact and providing resources to get people to vote. Happy to answer any questions. And just let me conclude with this. This is the most democratic redistricting measure ever because literally the voters of an entire state are voting on it.
Thanks, Congressman. Yeah, we'll take a couple of questions, and I see Mila's hand is up, so you can go first, Mila.
Oh, thanks, Chad. I'm definitely going to be supporting yes on 50 and working for that. But I just wanted to ask you, I was very disappointed in things you had to say when I saw you recently in Santa Monica at a church about what you had to say about Gaza. And I just want to know what you are doing now to stop the genocide of the Palestinian people.
Well, as you know, the Trump administration is in charge, so we do keep pushing on the Trump administration to do much better in getting humanitarian aid into Gaza. And we're just going to have to keep pushing on that. But it is the Trump administration, and we do try to do everything we can to get the administration to do much better and make sure that we get the humanitarian aid we need into Gaza. We also want to make sure that Hamas releases all the hostages. Keep in mind, they are holding hostages still right now. Hamas has still chosen not to release those hostages. They've killed a number of those hostages. So that's where we are.
Okay, thanks. And Craig, will go to you, but let's try to keep the questions focused around Prop 50 if we can.
It, my question has to do with, let's say they redraw maps. How many people does it take in order for a district to be recognized as a district? And providing that the maps were redrawn, just what kind of effect does the court have in that? And if indeed we more or less allow for those districts to be named, will it stand up in court?
So thank you for that question. I forgot to mention there's another difference between what California is doing compared to Texas. Texas did not respect the Voting Rights Act. California did. We also respect the principles of the Independent Redistricting Commission in terms of communities of interest. just like, we could have drawn a map with 0 Republicans. Every district would have been blue, but that would have violated the Voting Rights Act. So we did not do that. So we drew a map that complied with the Voting Rights Act as well as the principles of the Independent Redistricting Commission, and that's why you have the map that you see. And the other answer to your question about districts is every district is about the same population. It's going to be around 750,000 or so, and that's just a law that's required of every district in America.
Okay, thanks, Rachel.
Hmm.
Whoops, sorry.
Congressman, thank you so much for your service and update letters and so forth. Um, I just want to, people who are against it that I know, Prop 50 are say because then just every other state will follow suit, like Missouri, my home state, which is now deplorable, is, and my grandmother was a Democratic committee woman there, but if we do this, then every other state that's red will follow suit and start going, what do we say to people that we're trying to convince this is valuable, that won't happen?
Thank you for the question. It's 1,000% going to happen, whether or not California does this. We didn't start this fight, but Texas clearly went ahead without California doing anything. And before California even passed this ballot measure, you've got multiple red states now going ahead, taking steps to redistrict. It is, I think, unreasonable to expect these red states not to listen to Donald Trump. They're 1,000% going to listen to Donald Trump. They're going to redistrict. And the question is, do you want California to fight back or not? But all these red states are going to do it regardless of what California does.
Yeah. Okay, Phyllis.
Excellent answer. Thank you.
All right,
Thank you.
Phyllis.
Thank you. Good evening. This is something probably many of us are not familiar with, but I would like to know who will be in charge of drawing the maps. How,
Yeah, so thank you for your question. So this is a temporary response to the election rigging and attempt to steal the midterm elections. We do not get rid of independent redistricting commissions. So at the end of the decade, they will do the same thing that they've done previously, which is they will draw California's maps for the next decade. What this ballot measure does is it says, because of what Texas and other red states are doing, we're going to do the mid-decade redistricting, and the maps have already been drawn. You will literally be voting on the actual map, so no one's going to draw it. They're already drawn, and they were drawn in compliance with the Voting Rights Act. They were drawn in compliance of keeping communities of interest together. And if you look at the map, they all look fairly sensible and reasonable. So there's no more drawing of the map. You will be voting on a map that has already been drawn.
Okay, thanks. And so we'll take the last two questions here. So then that'll be it. So Brian.
Yeah, and Congressman, thank you for joining us again tonight. Following up on the previous questions, is there any similar initiatives in other blue states to redistrict and create more seats for Democratic candidates?
Many states don't have the same ballot measure system California does. So Maryland, for example, can just do it with their governor and their legislature. Illinois could just do it with the governor and their legislature. So those are two blue states. On the red state side, almost all of them could just do it with the governor and legislature if they have full control of both houses plus the executive branch. So Democrats are ultimately more handicapped because some of our blue states also have independent redistricting commissions. And basically, if just what's going to happen if Democratic states have independent redistricting commissions going into next decade's redistricting. Essentially, you're going to have every red state draw maps that favor Republicans. You'll have the blue states that don't have independent redistricting commissions draw maps that favor Democrats. And then you have the independent redistricting commissions that draw maps that we have no idea what they're going to do. They could favor Republicans, they could favor Democrats. So systematically, Democrats will be at a disadvantage, um, just the way the system is, unless every state adopts independent redistricting or no state does it. That's when you would have more parity. But if only Democratic states have independent redistricting, which is the case now, essentially, then we'll be at a disadvantage.
Okay, thanks. And the last question will go to Susan Reynolds.
Thank you very much for joining us tonight. My question is, so I lost my house in the Palisades fire and I live in the marina, but I've already received two major what can I say? Big time advertisements for Prop
Or Prop 50.
yes, Prop 50. So I'm wondering, because that's very, very important and the money is important. So I haven't received anything other than online about Pro 50. So I'm just wondering, how much money do we have to combat what I've already got in my mailbox here?
Democrats will likely be outspent on this measure. You have enormous pools of Republican dark money that are going to be spent on this measure because they realize how important this is to keeping a Trump in power and not having a Democratic House. And so we are likely going to be at a disadvantage in terms of money. Now, the good news is a recent poll came out basically showing not much has changed really from the initial poll to the current poll, which is still around a double-digit lead. So it's not clear to me that these mail pieces are doing much changing in people's minds. And what the polling also shows is essentially the more people actually learn about it, the more they support the measure. And so just educating people about it will be super helpful. And we do have something that the Republicans don't, which is we have a much better field operation. We have all of you. We have lots of Democratic activists. We have lots of people that care about democracy in our state. And so that could be the margin of difference in this election. And so I urge all of you to do whatever you can to help get Proposition 50 passed.
Thank you.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Congressman. And I just want to say I saw you this morning questioning Kash Patel. So I know you've had a long day, and I appreciate just not only the breadth and the scope of all that you do to represent us is deeply appreciated.
Thank you so much. Appreciate everything you all do to fight for democracy and to make America a better place. Thank
For
you.
sure, we're going to go get you a bunch of new colleagues in California with this Prop 50. Okay.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Great.
Have a good day.
Thank you. Okay. So now I'm wondering if there's a motion to endorse Prop 50 by voice vote or, yeah, Sean.
I move that we endorse Prop 50 to stop the election rigging by Republicans and to make sure that Democrats have an opportunity to take back Congress.
I
will
second.
second that.
I
Second.
second it.
Everybody,
I heard Sue first.
Second.
Okay. So we'll just call as a voice vote. So you don't need to raise your hand. Just everyone can unmute themselves and say all in favor.
Yes.
Aye.
Aye.
Oh, yes.
Aye.
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 Okay.
Aye.
Okay. All opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, it passes. Thanks, everybody. And we will be hearing more about it in a little bit. One of the advantages of doing that one by voice vote is we'll get to talk about it in a few minutes once the voting starts. We'll be joined by Hap Henry from the West Side Democratic HQ, who I see is already on the call, and he'll share some of the opportunities for GOTV for that one. Okay. So next up, we have 3 constitutional offices this year with incumbent Democrats. Attorney General, I'm going to, everyone mute yourself again. Okay. I did. Okay, I got it. Okay, so we have the 3 positions with incumbent Democrats statewide. Attorney General Bonta, Secretary of State Shirley Weber, and Controller Malia Cohen. All of them are running for re-election. No Democratic challengers. No big scandals between them that I know of.
Easy one.
Our executive board recommends endorsing all 3. Anyone want to comment about these 3 elected officials positively or negatively before we vote?
I'll move endorsement by acclamation.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second. It's Carolyn.
Okay, seconded by Carolyn. All in favor?
Aye.
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 All opposed?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, well, we got the ayes. All opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, so we'll consider them endorsed. Now we'll move on to our
John, who
Yes.
moved? Who moved?
It was moved by Sue Himmelrich
Okay, thank you.
and Mayor Pro Tem Tarosa seconded.
Okay, got it.
Okay, so now we're going to go to the state treasurer race. The incumbent, Fiona Ma, is termed out. We've heard from 3 candidates seeking our endorsement so far. Board of Equalization member Tony Vasquez, our former mayor, Senator Ana Caballero, and former Oakland Mayor Libby Schaaf. Now, since she visited us in July, Mayor Schaaf has dropped out of the race and endorsed Lieutenant Governor Eleni Kounalakis. And the lieutenant governor visited us when she was running for governor, but now that she's running for treasurer, we're pleased to welcome her back again as we hear from the candidates making their final pitches. So we will hear from the lieutenant governor as well as Senator Caballero, and if Tony's here, he can speak. Otherwise, he's designated somebody. But let's hear from Lieutenant Governor Kounalakis. Good to see you again.
Good to see you, John. And thank you. Can you hear me, by the way?
Yeah, we can.
Okay, great. It's good to be back with all of you Santa Monica Democrats. Thank you very much for allowing me to come back. Last time we were together, I shared my vision for the future of the state of California, and we talked about how we are going to fight back against Donald Trump. And in that regard, nothing has changed. But as a public servant, I had to ask myself, what is the best way that I can continue to serve the people of California? And that's why I'm back here today to tell you why I am running to be the next treasurer of the state. As you all know, California is now the 4th largest economy in the world. And as the state's banker and chief investment officer, the treasurer oversees $3 trillion every year in transactions. The treasurer is also the agent of sale for all of California's bonds. The treasurer oversees critical savers programs, including for millions of California kids. And of course, the treasurer also oversees the low-income housing tax credit program, which is responsible for delivering thousands of new housing units every single year. So last time I was with you, I talked at length about my credentials. So let me just say that I have a master's in business. I spent 20 years building housing projects. And I'm very, very proud that Treasurer Fiona Ma has endorsed me to follow her into office. So I very quickly want to point out one little thing that you might not know that I think is really important for Santa Monica. The treasurer oversees something called the pooled money investment account. And within that account, local governments are able to put money to be overseen by the treasurer's office. Santa Monica is one of the cities that has your funds or a portion, about half, as far as I could tell from your website, about half of your relatively liquid assets in this pooled money investment account. So I won't just be the state's banker. I will quite literally be in charge as the banker of a portion of Santa Monica's funds. And I know there are some really serious issues that Santa Monica has right now. And as the banker, I will be ensuring that you have liquidity. I will be ensuring that you get the best return on those investments, and that those investments are very safe. So I will also pledge to you to be accessible and available to answer questions and provide feedback, and be as transparent and available as possible to answer questions. So my friends, Donald Trump is coming for California. I really believe we need to have the right people in the right offices. This is early in the endorsement process. I have been endorsed already by the California Teamsters. I hope to get more endorsements, and I would be extremely honored to have the support of the Santa Monica Democrats. John, everyone, thank you for having me here, and I very much hope to have your support tonight. Thank you.
Great. Thanks, Lieutenant Governor. Great to see you again. And so the order was determined randomly here. So the next speaker will be for Tony Vasquez. And I understand he's mid-flight right now. So he's designated our former mayor, Sue Himmelrich, to speak on his behalf. And Sue, you have up to 3 minutes that I'm timing.
Thank you, John. And as John has said, Tony is on a plane, although I spoke to him late this afternoon and he did want to be here. I served with Tony on the Santa Monica City Council, and to this day, he remains a city council member who shared my values most closely. Coco endorses Tony too, but who shares my values most closely of anyone who has been in Santa Monica politics. So I have always supported Tony. I supported him when he ran for Board of Equalization, and I support him for treasurer. He has worked with us on affordable housing, on tax credits, on all of the purview of the Board of Equalization. But most of all, every time I go to an event in Santa Monica, and I admit I don't go as often as I used to, Tony is there. Tony really is committed to this community. I think everybody who is from Santa Monica on this call understands that if we want to talk to Tony, Tony will talk to us. I think it's important to be able to communicate to your state officers, not just your local officers. And I know that Tony will continue to talk to us. And as all of you know, one of my biggest issues is affordable housing, including the tax credits and low-income housing and tax fund. And I believe that Tony, more than any candidate that I'm aware of, is committed to affordable housing in the state. I think that it is one of our most imperative mandates. I understand we talk a lot about housing. You understand my bailiwick is affordable housing, and I know Tony will continue to support, one, rent control, and two, affordable housing. This is what I care about in this state. He will work to prevent homelessness. And I think that that everybody here who cares about accountability for Southern California, because bear in mind, folks, he is the only candidate for this office from Southern California, and we are woefully underrepresented in state government. He will be our representative in state government. So please support Tony. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Sue. And now we will hear from Senator Caballero. Thanks for coming back, Senator.
Well, good evening, Democrats. It's great to see you all again. I am State Senator Ana Caballero, a candidate for state treasurer, and I would be honored to have your endorsement. I was honored to appear at your meeting as well. I am an attorney, and I graduated from UCLA School of Law, go Bruins, and I moved to rural California, to the city of Salinas, to represent farm workers at California Rural Legal Assistance. And later, I started my own law practice. A number of us went into private practice from CRLA. I got involved in politics to help uplift people who felt forgotten and to create a seat at the table for them and their neighborhoods, and to do grassroots organizing. It was my community service, and I really loved it. So I served on the city council and became the first woman mayor in the 124-year history of the city. And we built 2,000 affordable housing units during that time. We doubled our park space. We expanded our library system, everything that a young community needs, as well as balancing every budget. I had the honor of working for Governor Brown as a cabinet secretary, and I managed more than 10 departments, which included the Civil Rights Department, the Housing and Community Development, Financial Institution, Department of Real Estate, and the Department of Consumer Affairs, all of which gave me a great perspective on how the state works and how to be able to get things done in the state. I served as assembly member and now as senator, where I focused on climate change, water availability, affordable housing, economic development, seniors, foster youth, and healthcare, in particular, medical care at hospitals. And all of these are priority investments in the Treasurer's office, investments that can improve the lives of Californians. Housing, healthcare, hospitals, clean energy, small business, school, roads, retirement, and savings. All of those are located in the Treasurer's office, and I've got extensive experience in all of those, both in terms of the legislation that I've done and in terms of the departments that I managed while I worked for Governor Brown. As you heard, the Treasurer acts as the state's banker and has the ability to manage the trillions in investments, which I believe can be used to improve the lives and communities all over the state. Communities that feel like they've been forgotten or haven't been included in projects that help to lift them up, as well as to assist to ensure financial stability and economic growth and encourage and develop funds for new technology. I'm honest, trustworthy, I'm a hard worker, and I have the skill and expertise to do this job. I have deep experience in all of these areas and would be honored to have your endorsement. It is early in the process. I have secured the endorsement of 2/3 of the Senate, as well as your great senator, my seatmate, Senator Allen, and about half of the assembly as well. And how this is important is they have the ability to help introduce me in their communities and to make sure that that I not only meet the people that are in this great states, but also meet their needs, which is what I do. I've been a real activist and a real champion of poor people, and I'd like to be able to do that in the Treasurer's office. I respectfully ask for your support.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Senator Caballero. Great to hear from you again. Okay, so and I'll just add before we move on that last week our board met and decided to recommend Tony Vasquez for endorsement in this race. So now let's move on to the state Senate race. Last week, we held our District 24 Senate debate, which has gotten a lot of praise. The ratings were through the roof. Our board voted to recommend Cheyenne Roy after that debate. Now we're going to hear some final words from the candidates' surrogates to the club, and each surrogate will have 1 minute. So I will call the candidate's name, that again, determined by random. And if there's no one designated by the campaign, then if anyone listening to this in the Zoom is a supporter of the candidate, then you are welcome to designate yourself and speak for 1 minute at that point. So we'll start with Ellen Evans.
I think let's see if anybody volunteers.
Sure. Anyone want to speak up for Ellen? Okay. Okay, not seeing any hands. We'll go to see for Brittany McKinley. Okay, and how about Eric Allegria? All right, well, I know we have a speaker for John Erickson, and it's our former mayor, Gleam Davis. So, Gleam, if you're ready to go,
I am.
floor is yours.
All right. Good evening, Santa Monica Democrats. I know many of you. I'm Gleam Davis, and I'm honored to speak on behalf of my good friend John Erickson tonight. First, John will get things done. He's proven that time and again as the mayor and a council member in West Hollywood. He's been an effective leader on LGBTQ rights, living wage issues, and renter protections. That's why he's endorsed by progressive legends Sheila Kuehl, Santa Monica Forward, and our own supervisor, Lindsay Horvath. But he's also endorsed by more centrist leaders like Supervisors Janice Hahn and Catherine Barger. Second, John shares our Santa Monica Democratic values. He's a former vice president of Planned Parenthood and currently works on Latino advocacy and immigration issues at Alliance for a Better Community. He's endorsed by AFSCME, Unite Here, and other unions because he fights every day to help working people. He knows the rent's too damn high and that food, medicine, and childcare cost too much. If we send John to Sacramento, he'll make us proud.
Okay, thanks, Gleam. And next up is Cheyenne Roy. Speaking on his behalf is our Mayor Pro Tem, Carolyn Terosas. Carolyn?
Thanks, John. Hi, everyone. I'm here tonight for someone who isn't just a colleague, but a close friend, Dr. Cheyenne Roy. If you know Shy, you know the type of leader that he is. He's humble, he's steady, and he's deeply committed to our community. He's been with us through it all. He helped guide this very club in 2016 when we needed to stay united against the horrible impact of Donald Trump, which we are now experiencing again. He's led LA County through the darkest days of COVID-19 and at Santa Monica College, where he has built workforce programs that are preparing students for family-sustaining wage jobs. But this is also personal for him. Earlier this year, Shai and his family lost their home in the January firestorms. He's walked the same road so many of our neighbors have, navigating bureaucracy, fighting insurance battles, trying to rebuild. That experience fuels his drive to make government work better for the people. Shai has always stood for Santa Monica values, protecting tenants, standing with our friends at Santa Monicans for renters' rights, fighting for equity, making sure that our working families have a fair shot, protecting our union brothers and sisters. He's always been a great representative for us here in Santa Monica, and I know he'll carry these values with him to Sacramento. Please support my friend and our colleague, Dr. Cheyenne Roy, and I ask you to join me in endorsing him for state senate. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Carolyn. And next up for Mike Newhouse, we have Josh Rothstein. Josh?
Hey there. Thank you, everybody. I am here to endorse my friend Mike Newhouse. This race may seem like it's about a single district in California, but it's actually about something much bigger. We are losing the entire country to ideologues who are more beholden to party platforms than ideas. If we continue to give in to our own excesses as a party and don't say, hold on, we can be sure Republicans will do it for us. As Democrats, we must return to the messaging of Bill Clinton and Barack Obama, leaders like Mike who made it clear that we can stand for progressive social values and environmental protections while also being laser focused on the economy, affordability, jobs, housing, and public safety. You all saw what I saw at the debate. Only Mike wasn't afraid to stand up against legislators jamming through SB 79. He suggested we build housing where it actually belongs. Only Mike demanded a public option for health care. Only Mike insisted our schools provide necessary vocational training to actually save people from a life on the streets. Only Mike did this without being beholden to narrow special interests. And only Mike knows what it's like to struggle to pay rent, to barely put food on the table as a kid, to actually work a trade as a carpenter. Ask yourself what you saw, because I know what I saw. We must choose the most plain-spoken and electable Democrat who can best connect with voters, and that is Mike. Thank you.
Thanks, Josh. And finally, Brian Goldsmith. Okay. All right. Well, so those are our speakers. So now the plan is we're going to open up the ballot in just a moment. When from the time we open the ballot, you'll have 30 minutes to vote. If you don't receive the ballot, check your spam filter. Make sure that it's the same email you provided in the RSVP form. And if you still didn't get anything, then send a message to me or Mike Soloff or Sean Kaloji on the Zoom. Or if you have our numbers, you can text us or whatever you need to do. We will get it sorted out. We will make sure you get a chance to vote.
What's the subject line, John? I'm looking right now.
Subject line is going to be something like I'm looking at the past one.
To be clear, ballots have not gone out yet. It's going to be about maybe 3 or 4 minutes before we get them out. But go ahead, John.
The subject line. So the email will come from Election Buddy Elections, and the subject line will be something like "Vote Now: and then it will say something like Santa Monica Democratic Club ballot or something like that. But that's the gist of it. Vote now: blah 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 blah. Okay. There's going to be 2 ballots. One is going to be for anyone who lives in California. That ballot will have, it'll have the Attorney General, Secretary of State, and Controller races because they were already on there, and it will have the Treasurer race as well. Then the second ballot will only be the state Senate race, and that's because our bylaws say you can only vote, as Mike said earlier, you can only vote in a district where you can vote in. So we have divided, our members who are out of SC 24 will still have the chance to weigh in on those other races. And a reminder, the threshold for endorsement is 55%. Another reminder, there's the difference between no endorsement and abstain. So on the ballot, you'll have the opportunity to not only choose between the candidate names, but also no endorsement will be an option. No endorsement means you're looking at the list and you're thinking the Santa Monica Demo Club should not endorse any of these names. Whether it's because you hate all the names or you just think the club needs to stay out of it, you're deliberately saying you think the club should not take a position, as opposed to if you vote abstain, that means you don't want to be counted in the denominator of this vote. You're staying out of it. You're not counting as a no. You're not counting as anything. So that's the difference between those two. Final reminder of the board recommendations. Rob Bonta, Shirley Weber, Malia Cohen. I guess we already technically endorsed those, but they'll be there. Tony Vasquez for treasurer, Cheyenne Roy for Senate. So I think that's it. Did I miss any big points, Mike, Sean, anything that needs to be said right now before we start setting it up?
I just wanted to say to everybody that even though we had a huge response to this meeting, you all got your signups in early so that we were able to verify everybody's status and do that in a very orderly way. So thank you. And if we can keep doing that in future meetings, it will save what little non-gray hair I have left. Thank you.
Okay, great. So, Sean, is everything loaded in at this point?
No, sorry.
You're still working on it?
I'm working on it, so sorry.
No problem. Let's throw over to our West Side Democratic HQ chair, Hap Henry. Hap, you there?
I'm here. Good evening, Democrats.
We did it. We endorsed Prop 50. Now it's on us where we've got a little project for the next couple months. And why don't you tell us the plan for what the HQ is doing? And of course, we've already been talking and we have a plan for Santa Monica Dems to be involved too. So
yes, I just dropped the first link of a few I will drop into the chat. Again, thank you, John and Santa Monica Democrats. My name is Hap Henry, chair of Westside Democratic HQ, as well as co-president of the Malibu Democratic Club. We are all in on Prop 50, and I am glad to see Santa Monica Democrats, which I am also a member of, join the effort. Westside Democratic HQ, we are hosting the phone banks on Monday, 6 to 8 p.m., and Thursday, tomorrow, 3 to 5 p.m. So for those who have not already signed up for a phone banking shift, please take a moment to do so now. Really quick, I will also drop in our Westside Democratic HQ link tree, which has a whole bunch of different actions available. One moment. And we also have some canvassing planned, which you'll see on this link tree. October 5th is going to be the first Santa Monica date, which you can sign up for in a moment. And there's also canvassing for those who are in neighboring areas, going on in places such as Culver City, Malibu, West LA, Westchester Playa, etc. So wherever you are, sign up for canvassing. It is available. There's also other ways you can get involved, such as writing postcards, of course, text banking, social media sharing. The Yes on 50 campaign has a bunch of ready to go social media posts that you can share to your network. And they're also signing up for their voter protection team. So what that means is, in all likelihood, the Trump's administration is going to send out ICE agents or other threatening folks to try to intimidate people on election day in line. And we are going to make sure that there are folks amongst us who are there present to ensure that peace is maintained and people are able to vote as according to their rights. So there's also a link on the link tree I put in the chat to sign up for that as well. Does anybody have any questions at this time? Anybody? Josh, is that a hand raised?
Yes, sir. Just logistical and
I
ministerial.
can't vote.
Yeah.
It doesn't work.
I haven't received it yet. I know you said you only send it to people in SD24. Am I
Just
on your
hang on a
list?
second, where the ballot's about to go out.
Oh, sorry.
Say within 2 minutes, you'll get the first one, and then 2 minutes after that, you'll get the second one.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. So on our last phone bank shift hosted by WDHQ, and by the way, there's phone banks 6 days a week, also bilingual Spanish language phone bank shifts available. And we are hosting a refresh your voting in Spanish language training coming up, which was on our latest email blast, which again is on the link tree. Our last phone bank shift on the 15th, we had 58 phone bankers make 23,039 calls. So we know the billionaires are going to outspend us. That's par for the course. And we also are committed to dominating them on the ground, which is how we win elections. And what that looks like is signing up for one of these actions or multiple actions. And I will post the link tree again for those who missed it. Please do so on the link tree. There are many, many, many different actions you can sign up for. Does anybody have any questions about volunteer for Prop 50 work? Phyllis.
Just want to
Okay,
vote.
there I am. Will there be, some kind of email or something that we can forward to our email lists on this?
Yes, Westside Dem HQ, we just sent out an email blast with a bunch of different actions yesterday. And if you go on the link tree that I put in the chat, there's a link on there where you can view the email blast and you can go on there and forward that to whoever you'd like. And I am sure that the Santa Monica Club will be sending out an email blast as well with information.
Thank you.
Thank you, Phyllis. And also, anyone who is an experienced phone banker or canvasser, we are looking for, or postcarder, we are looking for additional support. We're an entirely volunteer-based team with no paid administrative support. So even if you have experience managing spreadsheets or making graphics, or everyone here on this call, we all have our own unique skill set and something to offer to this campaign. And it's an all hands on deck effort. So there's also a form on there, on the link tree, for people who are interested in helping us train volunteers and make sure all our different canvassing locations are set up and all ready to go. And again, for those who missed it, I will post the link tree with all the different volunteer actions in the chat.
And the way to vote.
And how to vote. Ballots will go out in the mail first week of October, I believe October 6th.
I thought we were
voting for this
tonight. Yeah.
Tonight, I got my ballot in the mail. In the
Okay,
email.
everybody, the ballots are both ballots should be in your email. So Mila just posted in the chat, if you're looking for the exact subject line, vote now, Santa Monica Democratic Club, SMDC, September 2025. They both came in for me too, so
it's
Me as
there
well.
now. Okay, I can vote.
good. Okay. Thanks, Hap, for breaking all that down. So yeah, we'll be launching canvassers from Santa Monica, from all around, and doing all the calling and everything like that.
Thank you, John.
Yeah, no,
and look forward to hope to see some of you tomorrow, 3 to 5 on the statewide phone bank. We've been having callers join us from all over the country, and we've had over an 85% yes, I'm supporting Prop 50 respond rate, which is fantastic. And on the last call, we signed up a ton of new volunteers from people we were cold calling, and they were enthusiastic on Prop 50. So we're like, hey, if you ever feel like joining us and signing up for doing the volunteer work that we're doing right now, here's how you can do it. And we're just spreading the word on the ground. That's how we beat the billionaires.
Awesome. Thanks. Whoa, what? Huh? All right. So everyone got your ballot, right? There's no one out there who's going to wait until the ballots are going to go until 8:25, then they're going to close. Full half hour to vote. If anyone didn't get their ballot, now would be a good time to let us know about it so that we can make sure we handle it.
So do we go out now and go to our,
And
how do we do this? I'm not used to it.
Okay, so first of all, I see Christina's note in the chat. So Sean and Mike, keep an eye on Matt Millen didn't get his either. Just keep an eye on those requests.
And Catherine Eng, ENG.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let's definitely get that taken care of.
So do we go out and then come back into the
Well,
meeting?
I mean, you should be able to. I mean, if you're on your cell phone, then you might have to do that. Yeah, but I think, I think you can, even on a phone, be on a Zoom.
People also need to be sure to check their spam filters because we've had that issue before.
John, I think that she's asking a different question.
You can.
Yeah.
Yeah, I find the best way to do it is just to look in the mail on your phone. It's really easy to do on your phone.
You can look at your mail on your phone and do it. It's really easy.
Anybody didn't get a ballot or has trouble, please do email us.
Yeah, definitely. Now's the time to let us know if we need.
To whom? Right. Who shall I email?
Alan, you're letting us know now. So
okay.
Sean, can you follow up with Alan? Okay. I have a note here. Go Birds. Okay. Okay. Great. Let's keep it going. We've got some more stuff. I'll go over some of the housekeeping stuff that I usually do at the very beginning of the meeting, but I'll take a moment to go through that right now. We have two more meetings coming up this year, one in October and one in November. And we're going to just keep on having these guests who are running statewide, seeking our endorsement come through. Uh, all of those votes are going to need to be done by March. So we're gonna have as many guests as we can until then, and then eventually we'll take our votes. But on October 29th, which is our next meeting, we'll be back in person at the church in Ocean Park and on Zoom. And the guests are going to be former State Senate President Tony Atkins, who's running for governor. And we'll also have LA County Community College trustee Nichelle Henderson, who's running for superintendent of public instruction. And we will also be joined by the former mayor of Sausalito, Janelle Kelman, who's running for lieutenant governor. And that list is probably going to continue to grow. We'll keep it fresh. We'll keep having more people come through. And then also announcing November 12th, we're going to be joined by Stockton Mayor Michael Tubbs, who's run who's running for lieutenant governor. And also hot off the presses, we just confirmed it a couple hours ago. Assembly member Al Muratsuchi, who's also running for superintendent of public instruction, will be stopping by as well. We'll be having more guests than just that at both of those meetings. We're still working to confirm with a bunch of different campaigns. So we'll keep everybody updated. The email list that we send out is definitely the best way to know about upcoming meetings and stuff. So we will keep updating that with the roster of who's coming when. And we also have some other exciting events coming up. And I wanted to see if Michelle is around to talk about.
Hi, John.
Hey, there she is. Hey, Michelle. We have a
Um,
really big announcement. Take it away.
yes, well, do we want to mention that November 12th, we're going to be in a different location?
Oh, thank you. Yeah, this is why we have a programs VP. So we remember to tell everybody important things like we're moving locations. So for that one
Just for
meeting,
November
yeah,
12th.
we'll make sure everyone gets the information in email. You don't have to write it down right now, but we're going a couple blocks away to on 4th Street. It's what is it called? The uh the learning the
Learning and Development Center,
yeah.
something, Professional Learning and Development Center,
Thank you. Yeah. So we're gonna
PLDC.
we did do one meeting there a long time ago for the old heads, but we're gonna go back just for one meeting. The church has another event that night, so we'll just go there. We'll be back in January at the normal place. Okay, take it away.
Okay, No
Can
Kings
sorry,
2.
sorry, Michelle, may I interrupt real quick?
Of course.
Alan Bale, did you say you were the one with the ballot issue, or was it someone else?
Alan did, yeah.
Okay.
Yes, then I put in the chat that I have received the ballots. It was just
okay, great.
Went into a different folder. Thank you.
Okay. Now, Michelle. Okay.
Actually, while we're doing this, Kat Eng and Matt Millen, you're on the list, and so should have received it. Have you received yours? Did you check your spam filter?
And so if Kat Eng and Matt Millen did not get it, then we can send it to them to a different email address and spoil the old ones. That's an option but just let us know in the chat if you can.
So John, actually, the chat is not very effective because it's so crowded with other things there. If people could email us, I think that'd be better. I'll drop the email addresses.
Okay,
for
thanks.
the chat, because it's hard for us to see it there. Thanks.
Okay, thanks.
Mine came in my updates in Gmail. It didn't come in regular. Then I have promotions. I've got like 3 or 4 different folders where the things go into, so you have to check all of them.
Okay. Michelle, I think.
Everyone ready? It's okay. Voting's the most important thing tonight. So, like all of you, I was very upset and really just sick to my stomach this afternoon when I saw the news about Jimmy Kimmel. Just horrible. But we could let our voices be heard together again at No Kings 2 on October 18th. We will be back at Palisades Park at Montana. This is now Saturday, October 18th from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., Palisades Park at Montana. Also, a few changes this time. We will not have speeches, but we will have a DJ out with some music, keeping everything happy and upbeat, one hopes. We will also have some tables. There are picnic tables at Alta where Field Team 6 will set up, the club will set up, Westside HQ will set up, Yes on Prop 50 will set up. So there'll be a place to go and gather and get information on how you can help. Yeah, what a day. But volunteers, I need volunteers to be peace marshals. Basically, you get a yellow vest and a whistle, and mostly you point people in the direction of the bathrooms and ask them to get out of the trees. But it's a big park, and I need a lot of people to just have eyes out there, answer people's questions. There will be a training that you could watch as it happens, or watch the video that Indivisible will put out a little closer to the 18th. We all watched it the last time. It's helpful, talks about how to talk people down, handle a situation. But thankfully, what we mostly see happen at these things is like some random MAGA person going by in a truck with a lot of flags to annoy us. But nobody really is going to walk into that crowd. And the police are actually going to close off all of Ocean Avenue by the rally this time. So there will be no cars going through at all. And yes, if you have any questions, please ask or send me an email. And yes, let me know if you'd like to volunteer. We could use the help. One more save the date is December 7th. That will be the club's annual holiday party and toy drive. We should be back at the brewery. I'm just waiting to hear back from them. But yes, that should be our place where we can all just go and gather and feel good and feel bad together as a team. So thank you. Does anyone have any questions? Sarah, your hand's been up a while, but I don't know if it's for me or about voting.
It's not about a voting. Just a couple comments, but thank you for the information about the event over on Palisades Park. There's another one on the 27th, I believe, where people are trying to line Pacific Coast Highway. And I guess make a statement from above. I think Isabel's been involved with that. I don't know if you guys are, but sounds like a good plan to me. And I just wanted to amplify the question in the chat about what the potential denominator for these races are, because I just curious to hear that. So thank you.
Thank you. Isabel is lead on that one. And Isabel, I'm going to take two other questions and I'm going to ask you to speak on that event. So Josh, your hand is up, and then Craig, and then we'll go to Isabel.
Yes, you had mentioned a little bit about some of the police presence. Are you guys for these events taking or planning on taking extra precautions for speakers? Like, are people concerned right now about the tensions in general beyond outside of the event and coming in?
Josh, so there's two issues there. One, No Kings is a very big event, citywide, countrywide. The Santa Monica Police Department were our partners the last time. They are our partners again. They are doing a lot, some things I could talk about, some things I probably don't even know about, to keep us safe as they did last time. For the club, when we have high profile speakers, the Santa Monica Police Department are aware. They come and they check out the site. They've driven by, they've come up to say hi and check in. When we put the event out on Mobilize, we do not list the address until someone RSVPs. Also, you may have noticed we've been doing sign-in sheets and name tags, and that is a way to handle some security, to know who's coming in. Do we know them? Are they declining a name tag? So there are some small things and some big things that are going on. But yes, we're all aware, and everyone on the executive board, we're all talking to each other about what we need to do, what we can do, and what we have been doing.
Thank
Craig, you're welcome. Craig, you had a question, and then Judy, before I go to you, I would like Isabel to talk about the event at the beach. Craig, your question?
Yes, it has to do, keeping in mind the political climate. Is there anything in the way of information or plan to be more informational about specifically the Proposition 50? You know, I understand No Kings, but No Kings is such a broad event in which a lot of issues get, this is something more specific. And so I'm wondering specifically, had the club planned to do any kind of informational session through you to where people can get an idea as to, you know, the power of this proposition and or, you know, what kind of legal challenges this may convey to us as people.
I think that Hap addressed that a bit already, and maybe could, if Hap, if you're online, if you want to talk a little bit more about that.
Sorry, I was responding to a text. Can you repeat the question?
Craig had questions about what the clubs are doing to inform people whether there'll be, Craig, are you talking about like a specific rally just about
Well,
Prop
no,
50?
I'm specifically asking about informational type sessions in reference to this Prop 50, the, you know, more or less legal standard in reference to how it holds out if indeed it passes. Will it hold up in court? I mean, you know, specifically, what are our rights? Keeping in
Right.
mind
I
that
hear you.
this
I'm
isn't
sorry.
something that we asked for. This is something that we're put into. And I
I hear.
imagine, you know, the courts are going to rule on what Abbott is doing in terms of Texas. And, you know, will we be held to that same standard,
I
provided
have
we
an
vote?
answer for you. Thank you, Craig. I'm sorry we missed you on our kickoff call that we did on last Sunday. We were joined by Congresswoman Laura Friedman and State Senator Ben Allen, and we talked a lot about those questions you just brought up. And the short answer is this is our opportunity as Californians to fight back, and whatever Trump and his Department of Justice want to do, they can try to do. But this, you know, the ball's in our court right now, and this is what we're doing. So that's all out of our control, what they want to do. If they try to challenge it and say Texas was allowed to do it because of extraordinary circumstances, but California, you didn't have those same extraordinary circumstances. That's a possibility. And we'll let the courts decide if it gets to that point. But that is a scenario that may happen down the road that Congresswoman Friedman did address on our call. So I'm glad you brought that up. It is a concern, and we'll make sure we have the legal team in place that it'll take to fight that fight.
Thank you, Hap. Thank you, Craig, for the question. Isabel, do you want to talk about the upcoming event?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
All right. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, good, because I'm connected in a way that I'm not usually. So yes, so I'm working on this Hold the Line event. I put a link in the chat. It will be on Saturday, September 27th from 10 to noon. And basically, Californians will be forming a line all the way down from the San Diego area to Northern California along the coast, symbolically holding the line against the Trump regime. This started to be planned with all the raids in Los Angeles, and we know that the Trump regime has particularly focused on California and aimed his ire and a lot of destructive actions. He's targeted the UCs and other colleges and universities and the immigrants here, and one group after another. And so this is to show that California is standing strong. It's also a pro Proposition 50 demonstration, that we will not be intimidated and we will stand up to this. I am in particular working on the segment that goes from LAX up through Santa Monica. So for us here in Santa Monica, it will follow Ocean Avenue from the southmost point up to the top of Palisades Park. So actually some of the very near where the No Kings will be later. But the idea of this one is that we will form a line and for 15 minutes hold hands. There will be videographers, photographers, and so on, showing this line all the way up and down the coast of California. So it should be a friendly, really nice event. If you want to come out, I put the link in the chat. You sign up for a particular, their quarter-mile segments. So you sign up for the particular segment that you want to go to. And we hope to have a lot of people, and I especially hope that the whole Santa Monica segment is full.
Thank you, Isabel. Judy, your hand's been up.
I just wanted to let everybody know that October 18th is a closed street event on Main Street. It's called Day of the Dog. And so there are going to be 2 closed streets in Santa Monica that day. And it might be a little tricky getting around. Just wanted to mention that.
It's also a good opportunity to be out in the community and go to the protest in the morning and then head down to Main Street and party in the afternoon. I mean, that's how I see it. That's how we're going to get people. Yeah, Brad said it, open to people. People, it's actually a nice walk where you can walk directly down to Main Street afterwards if you want and get lunch. Okay. Michelle, anything else?
I think that's it for me. Thank you all for being here tonight.
Okay, awesome. We've got about 10 more minutes left to go in the vote, and we are pleased to welcome a presentation from City Council from Council Member Ellis Raskin. Ellis?
Hey, thank you, John, and good evening, everyone. I'm joining you tonight from the heartland of California, Patterson, California, here in the Central Valley. Doing some work out here, but good to see everyone tonight. I'm going to give you just a quick overview on some of the things we've been doing at the City Council, and I'll have maybe a few minutes to answer a few questions. First of all, I want to respond to something that was brought up earlier tonight about the declaration that we made at our last meeting about the fiscal state of the city. It's true, we have had some headwinds, some tough headwinds with respect to litigation and liability, but I want to assure everyone that we're not going bankrupt. We're going to be okay. It's tough times ahead, but the future outlook is looking very good for our city. It's true the tourism is down, and it's true that the retail economy is changing. And this declaration was really, again, a tool to work with regional, statewide, and other national partners to make sure that we can get the funding help that we need. But just want to make everyone aware that we're all doing all right. We appointed a new interim city attorney at this last meeting, Heidi Von Tongelen, and we'll be launching a national search for our new city attorney. We approved our aging and disability action plan. One of the things that our city recognizes is that housing and cost of living has never been more difficult for our senior community. And we approved a new plan that works with stakeholders and other partners in our community to ensure that we're giving the support that we need for folks who are aging in our community and for folks with disabilities. It includes making sure that the housing support is there. It ensures making sure that the resources are there, leveraging existing programs like the POD program to make sure that people get the support that they need. We approved a new cannabis retail program. We had previously limited the city for many years to medical cannabis only. That was opened up a few years ago to commercial cannabis, so we tweaked the zoning for that a little bit. We also tweaked some building standards. We are now going to allow single staircase designs with approval from the fire department and other stakeholders. We did a few other building code tweaks. And looking ahead to meetings coming up next time, I know something that's a big interest to a lot of people on this call. We're going to be having a discussion about the role and relationship of neighborhood associations in our community. I encourage you all to discuss that. I think we're going to be having a robust discussion about that. And we're also going to be talking about the off-site affordable housing program that was launched as a pilot at one of our recent meetings. That's going to be coming back as well. I do want to leave a little bit of time for questions here, though I think that there might be a majority of council members on the call, so I don't think we'll be able to say anything with respect to policy or have a discussion amongst ourselves. But to the extent that there are any questions or publicly available information I can provide, happy to do it. And thanks again, John, and to the entire club for running this. It's a great meeting. Really well done endorsement process. Appreciate everyone.
Thanks, Ellis. Do we have a majority of the council on? I see you, Natalia, and Carolyn. And I didn't see.
Hi, John.
Oh, hey. What's up, man?
Sorry, I'm running late.
Okay, so let's hear from Wendy.
Hi, I'm just wondering, first of all, I live on 21st in California. Cypress is making 4 gigantic buildings within 6 blocks of me on 19th and Wilshire, 20th and Wilshire, 21st and Wilshire, and then 25th through 26th and Wilshire. The one on my corner was going to have maybe 10 units of low income or moderate income housing, but now those are off in some other place. And I don't know if and when they will get built, if they'll be built in the same time frame as this other one. But so now that apartment building is just going to be luxury condos, which we don't need more luxury condos. We need more places for low income people to live, not so that they're in a different place. Like, I think that's what makes a community, is having all sorts of people living in a building. I'm in a condo unit. You know, at one point we had girls who were 20 and our oldest neighbor was 92. So we all got to live together and it was great. And we had, you know, different experiences. And I feel like you pushing the low income people into one building, you know, away from the luxury condos is really a form of segregation. So I just want to say that. Also, I think that by allowing these, have you guys looked into the cost of buying new fire trucks? Because I wonder, you know, they cost over $1 million, and you're going to have these new buildings that need higher ladders. And are the developers paying for that, or the citizens of Santa Monica? So those are my questions. Thanks.
Well, thanks, Wendy. I appreciate the questions, and certainly, you know, there are robust policy discussions to be had about affordable housing, offsite affordable housing. Like I said, we've got a majority of the council here, so I can't get into specifics too much, but I encourage you to come out to our next meeting and to share your perspectives and you know, this is like I said earlier, part of a much broader discussion that has a lot of different considerations here. I do want to respond to the thing about the fire impacts. For any developer in California, well, I don't know anywhere, but at least in Santa Monica, you have to pay these things that are called development impact fees for every unit. And so every few years, the city does something that's called a nexus study, where they take a look at what the proportional costs or contribution is for each new unit on municipal services. And they charge fees to people. And so there are impact fees that are paid that contribute towards supporting fire services. So it's not like new units don't contribute any new funding to support municipal services, but they also support the local tax base. Again, I don't want to get too much into policy, and I suggest my questions here before our time runs out, so I'll cut it off there.
Matt?
Yeah, thanks, John. And Ellis, thanks for coming to the meeting and sharing some updates. I'm one of those members of the community organization. I'm actually a board member of NOMA. And you may have heard we just recently had an in-person event with over 200 or around 200 attendees. It was a success, brought members of the community together, public safety, housing, the unhoused issues, and the fire issues in our community were some of the biggest topics that were raised. And fire kind of, overlaps with a lot of things, including density. And one of the concerns that we've raised in NOMA and members of our community have talked about is with SB 79, the loss of local control. And so my question, and I understand that because of, I don't really understand the rules, but you can't speak on policy. But just today, Karen Bass, mayor of Los Angeles, wrote and basically asked the governor to veto SB 79. My understanding is our council has been in support of SB 79. So I was wondering if there's anything you can share as to why Santa Monica may be differing with Karen Bass, if our council would consider, reviewing what her concerns are. And, from our perspective in NOMA, one of the biggest concerns of loss of local control is this issue around fire. And, do we know best on how to keep our citizens safe and how to do planning, especially in NOMA, the closest area to where the fires were. So is there any light any of you can share? And Ellis, since you're up, I'll ask you on why Karen Bass might have vetoed and if Santa Monica might consider or asked to veto, and would we consider the same?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's worth noting that the bill has gone through a lot of different iterations since over the past 2 months. And at the time that this came before the Santa Monica City Council, we approved a letter that called for it to be amended to include anti-displacement protections and renter protections. And the bill ultimately was amended to include those things. Again, I can't get too far into policy in this because we have a majority of the council here, and per the Brown Act, you can't talk about policy when the majority of the legislative body is in the room. But I will say that the fire issue specifically is one that the city is taking a hard look at with respect to impacts on the northernmost parts of NOMA. This was something that was addressed in our most recent safety element of our general plan. And it's going to be an iterative process. And it's one that I know I don't take lightly, and my other council members here don't take lightly, the fire safety issues. And what we can be doing as a local government to help support our residents with respect to those dangers. So, separate and apart from what's happening with SB 79, that's a conversation that we're continuing to have about how we can support folks in NOMA and across the city, protecting folks from fire dangers. So that's something we should talk about in more detail some other time. I know we're kind of running up against time, and I see John C. Smith has his hand up, and we're almost out of time here. John, looks like you might be on mute there.
Yeah, let's hear from John, and then we'll go to the results.
John, I think you're still on mute. Sorry, I'm not hearing you.
He's not on mute, but he's not coming through. John, we can't hear you.
Let's go to the results.
Okay, let's go to the results, and we'll do that now. And John, something's weird with your Zoom there. You'll have to figure that out. Okay. Sharing my screen. Ballot number 1. Hold on, clicking around. Results. Okay, so here we can see that I don't know why it says he's below the threshold, but we have 124 divided by 225 votes is over 55%. So you can see that Tony did get the endorsement, and obviously the others did as well. So congratulations to Tony. And Maria, do you know if Tony's landed yet? We'd love to have him pop in.
Hi, you know what? I have him on the phone right now because he is driving in.
Oh, okay. Well,
Let me put him on the phone.
okay,
hold on.
let's.
Tony, why don't you? Can you here? I'm gonna put you because you can talk over right now. Why don't you talk in? Go ahead, Tony. Go ahead.
Hello?
Hold on.
Can we just move forward
Yeah.
with the vote?
Okay.
You know what I
We're
mean?
gonna try
Because
to
some of us,
we're
it's late.
Okay.
we're about to do the result. Okay, we're just
Okay.
gonna hear from
I know, but they could do that at the end. How about that at the end?
Okay,
For those
Maria.
of us who
They
can't
can't hear
wait.
you.
Okay, Maria, if you could see if Tony
Yes.
can come on
Call
to
it
the
in.
or something.
Let him
Okay.
come on at the end.
Can you just
Okay.
stop and go into your phone?
Let John run the meeting.
Okay, folks, here we go with the results now for ballot 2. And there we go. Shy got 77% of the vote, which is above the 55% threshold. And we can see the numbers there with John Erickson at 44 votes or 18%. And Mike and Ellen after that. And then so here we go. There's the results. So congratulations to everybody. And let's go to Shy and hopefully Tony can get in a minute. But Shy, congratulations, man.
Thank you. And, you guys have heard a lot from me, this year. And I just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. And it's really nice to have overwhelming support from this club that really is the heart of my, my political values. And so it means a lot to me. And just a note of gratitude and thank you. That's all I have to say. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thanks, Shai. And I also want to take an opportunity to thank all the other candidates for participating in the process. We're really grateful for this whole thing, the debate last week. It was really a lot of fun, and I think that we really raised the awareness, and people all around the district are going to have a great understanding of the campaign here. Did Tony make it in yet?
He's trying to log in through his phone right now.
Okay,
Give him a couple of minutes.
no problem.
But I can say thank you.
Sure.
Thank you to him for the support. I think I wish he could have been there to have made his statement personally earlier in the meeting. But he's a person that's been true from the very beginning as he started his role as a city council, mayor, and then board of equalization, that he's there for the people to make sure that the investment is made in affordable housing and making sure that the treasurer's funds that are there to be able to invest them into affordable housing, which in the past, they really haven't. And so here he's looking for partnerships as he comes in as a new treasurer to be able to utilize those fundings for housing, education, and other issues that I think for the most common people like ourselves, the working people, will have support, for the future for them. So thank you, everybody.
Thanks, Maria. Okay, so think that pretty much takes us to the end of the meeting, unless, yep, is that Tony right now? It says Ton.
No.
It says Ton.
Tone, Ton?
Ton, yeah. Tone's iPhone.
That might be him.
Can you hear me?
Hey, what's up, Tony?
How we doing?
Congratulations. You just got the endorsement of the club.
Hello? Did we lose you?
Okay.
He's muted.
Mute, Tony, unmute yourself. Oh my goodness.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
Yes, yes.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that. I can't get this camera to go, but you can hear me though, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's fine. Go ahead.
Yes. Well, first of all, I wanted to thank everybody. Sorry I wasn't able to come on earlier. I was just wrapping up my board meeting up in Sacramento, and it just so happened I was actually in the air when you folks were starting. But I just landed, driving back. Really appreciate the support. You folks have been good luck every time I've run. So hopefully that's a good omen as we move forward. At the end of the day, looking forward to bringing, especially the resources that the treasurer has to Southern California. And for those of you that might be delegates, we're going to try to lock in at least 2,000 delegates by the end of the year so we can get the state party endorsement as well. Really appreciate all your work and help on this one.
Great. Well, thanks, Tony, and congratulations again. And I think that brings us to the end of the meeting. So just as a reminder before we go, the next big thing is getting everybody out to do GOTV for Prop 50. And at the same time as that, coming up in mid-October, we're going to have No Kings 2 back on the Palisades Park. And then our next membership meeting is October 29th. We'll have gubernatorial candidate Tony Atkins and the other folks I mentioned earlier. We're really excited to see everybody then. Congratulations to the endorsees, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah, it's not too bad. Good night. Certainly.
Wow. So,